requesting everyone to please stand for the prayer. Prayer leader for today, can you take charge? Let us all bow our heads, hold our hands, and feel the presence of our Lord as we pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to test, but deliver us from evil. And the Lord is thine, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
You may now take your seats. Before we start, let me check your attendance first. As usual, say present if you are here and when your name is called. Ivan,
Present.
Custodio,
Present.
Lynette,
Present.
Shane,
Present.
Kathleen,
Present.
Anjali,
Present.
Revy,
Present.
Maiden,
Present.
Karen,
Present.
Kathy,
Present.
and Jason.
Present.
Attendance is perfect. Congratulations for that. Let us now have a recap of our previous lesson. Who can recall what was our lesson last meeting? Anyone? Yes, Karen?
Modals, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We have discussed modals last meeting. What are the functions of modals that we have discussed last meeting? There are three. Who can give one? Yes, Custodio, please.
Permission, ma'am.
Yes, we did have the models of permission. Another one, Maiden.
Obligation.
Obligation, very good. And the last one is Ivan.
Permission, ma'am.
Very good. Last time we have the models of the functions of models. It includes the models of permission, obligation, as well as the prohibition. Now we will proceed with our topic, which is judging the validity of the evidence listened to. But before that, we will have a game. So our game for today is entitled Fact or Bluff. Who's excited to play a game? Who wants to play a game? May I see the hands? Okay, everybody is raising their hands, so I assume everybody wants to play a game. We will now group the class into two groups by counting off Bali and GP instead of numbers 1 and 2. For example, Kathleen will say Bali and Shane will say DT and the rest follows. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You may now start counting off from here.
Bali, B. Bali.
E.
Bali, GT. Bali, GT. Bali, GT.
Valley.
Okay. All Bali will sit together in this side as well as the other in this side. So you have the Bali.
Valley.
Everything fine? Now, listen carefully as I read to you the mechanics of our game. First, each group will be given a placard. One side of it is labeled fact and bluff on the other. Second, the statements to be judged will be flashed on the screen, and the teacher will read it first. Third, after the teacher reads it, that's the time to answer. One representative from each group will go in front and show or raise the side of the placard consisting of the group's answer, and at the same time say the answer twice or 3 times. Fourth, the first group to execute and show the correct answer will garner 1 point. And lastly, the group with high score will be declared winner. Take note, there should be different representative for each statement of number. Do you get the mechanics, class?
Yes, ma'am.
So now, here is the placard. One side of it is labeled fact, and the other side is bluff. You will answer you will simply show the side of the placard which contains your answer. For example, your answer is fact. You will answer fact when the statement flash the screen is something that you believe is based on truth and have strong evidence. and bluff if you believe that the statement or the item flashed in the screen is something which is only made up. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can count out the placards. Do you have any questions regarding the mechanics of our game? So, are you ready to play?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. The first item, November 5, 2021. The Department of Education, or DepEd, as an institution trusted to protect the rights of every Filipino learner, does not tolerate any forms of abuse towards children.
So our answer, mom, is bluff. Why? Is because we can see that there's a date. We're not sure if it was really like passed on November 5, 2021. We can see, we can see that there's that that's like a legit, but we cannot be sure of November 5, 2021. And when we like look into the element of the right, we have to protect the rights of every Filipino. We can say that the DepEd has already like legislated that like that law, and it's not influenced with the time of 2021. So we're saying that this is a bluff.
How about here?
Our goal,
The straight block, because as what the it is really 2021, because it's really exact date for that and state of Balaran not to be 2021. Let's reveal the answer. Let's discuss that later in our next item. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte said that, and I quote, "The vaccine is around the corner. Sooner and not later, the virus that gobbled up thousands of lives will itself be laid to rest." End of quote. During his fifth State of the Nation address last July 27, 2022.
Black mom, because July 27, 2022, we are not still in that date. So we cannot say that the people who want to said that on his State of the Nation address.
Yes.
So the other group, we can see this July 27th, and we're in the term of, May pa. So I think this one is so loud one.
Okay. But the first group who got the correct answer is this group. Next. Dogs are better than cats. They walk, play, fetch, and interact with owners. Whereas cats stalk around on their lonesome during nights Take note, there should be different representative for each item. Our answer for this number 3 is that because this paragraph is biased, because not all cat can also do this. For me, dogs, because dogs and cats are also the same, as well as they both interact and play together. Not, we can say that dogs really better than cats. Okay, let's reveal the answer. The first one who got the correct answer next. Be alert. Salmon is high in protein, vitamins, and minerals, hence why it is known as brain food. This fish is an ideal source of omega-3 fatty acids, which is linked to reducing the risk of depression, heart disease, and cancer, said John Lavaran, a health expert in his website, which is medically reviewed on May 30, 2021. Because based on the statement, there is a medically reviewed on May 30, 2021. Okay. How about the other group? But still, congratulations. The first one, so the correct answer will garner 1 point. Next. Roses are not poisonous plants, but its thorns can spell trouble if you accidentally break them. But rose petals can go to the kitchen or even skin care. Our group answer is Papa. I don't know exactly, I'm sorry. Our answer is because because there's no expert that says that the statement is correct.
For me, it is fact because as I was the last class, because we already use the petals for garnishing, and we already use the petals for coloring our face during, I think during past century, they use petals for blushing their face, and that's all.
Face-to-face interactions. Listen, according to experts, then we started hearing about disease. So for me, it is tough because it is already said that it's according to experts. So it means it is really relevant. How about the other group?
We can say that that is black. Why? Because I think, there's no author or source included in the paragraph. You cannot say that it is proven that there is a real Zoom fatigue. That's
Yeah! choice of going to school?
Why not? Because I believe that because students not really felt joy because of the year that they spent at home, and therefore although that they're not so excited to go back in school. So that's that.
Yes. Our group decided that our answer is block because the students cannot enjoy going to school because they need to follow the health protocols of the government to protect themselves against COVID. What's the answer? Congratulations, so congratulations to everyone. Here's your prize. Let us now proceed to our lesson. Before that, I want you all to feel comfortable. Stop talking, please. Can you move back to our class? I want you all to feel comfortable in your seats and listen attentively as the duration of our class is going on. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We will proceed now with our lesson and dig deeper about let me share to you first our lesson objectives. So these are the competencies or the things which are expected of you to achieve at the end of our lesson. First, judge the validity of the evidence presented. Second, recognize the significance of ensuring the validity of an evidence. And last, present ideas on determining validity of an evidence. Plus, when you happen to read or hear the word validity or valid, what comes into your mind or what can you think of? Anyone? Yes, Mr.
Correctness, ma'am.
Very good, correctness. Thank you. Another one? Yes, Lynette. How true something is. Yes, how true something is. Correctness is all correct. Plus, do you happen to notice that at times we tend to have difficulties when sharing our opinions or perceptions due to the fact that others have different perspectives compared to us? Do you happen to notice that?
Yes, of course.
Yes, right? Because there are many instances that we argue with others because we believe on something which they do not, and vice versa. Let's say, for example, if you and your classmate or your friend have an argument because of your varying beliefs, and each one of you is trying to take a stand on what you believe is true. Have you experienced it?
Yes.
It really happens at times, right? And it is what makes our lesson for today very purposeful. Especially nowadays that fake news has been increasingly rampant, and with that we have to be very careful and mindful of what we believe in. So validity. As stated in here, the word valid is derived from the Latin validus, meaning strong. So it's stated in here that valid is derived from the validus, Latin word, which connotes greatness. Next, kindly read the next statement. Yes, correct. It then to make a concept from which the reaction is well founded. Okay, thank you. Validity could also pertain to the point where the idea or judgment is having a well-reasoned theory or well-reasoned grounds, and it shows a just and right basis. Next, please. Okay, yes, Shane. It tells how accurately a method measures something and corresponds to the real world.
So the word validity may also refer to, or it may also declare the extent or the degree of the idea's correctness and closeness to truth. Do you understand, class? Okay, is the word validity clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, that's fantastic. Next, word evidence. An information that supports a claim. So evidence, these are the body of facts or body of information wherein it indicates that a certain proposition or claim is true and valid. Next, material presented to help find the truth about something. So evidence, this could also refer to the data or information which were released to help guide or aid in the search for what truly exists. Next, we have here questions to determine sources with validity. Who can read the first question we have here? Yes, Annette.
Who is the author of the source?
Who is the author of the source? Class, this is the very first carry which needs or seeks solution and answer. This question refers to or pertains to the person or the individual who is responsible of relaying a certain information or data and having assertions on a particular subject or matter. Next question, who can read? Yes, Shane.
What are his or her credentials?
Okay, this is the second question. After we have already identified the author or who is the one responsible for relaying or spreading such information, this is the next question that we have to answer. Credentials includes the skills of that person, the education, as well as the informational background of that person, which makes that person or that author qualified to act, write, and speak about that certain subject. Next we have, is he or she a recognized expert in the field? After identifying who the author is of a certain information, after digging into the credentials of that person, we also have to dig deeper about the expertise of that person. If that person is having mastery or a special skill in a certain subject that he acts, writes, or speaks about, and if that person, when we say experts, it is someone who has achieved far beyond what an average person has. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next question we have here, is he or she representing an organization? After digging deeper about that person, we still have many questions to answer. We have to know if that person identified to be the author or the individual who is responsible of spreading that information. We have to know if that person is part of a group or an association wherein they have shared the same purpose. And if that person acts, writes, or speaks in behalf of the organization that she belongs to. Do you get it? Next, we have, if so, what are the organization's mission and goals? After identifying if that person do or not represent an organization, and if it happens that the person belongs to a certain organization, we also have to be aware if what are the overall intention of that organization that she or he belongs to, and if what are their purpose of their existence. Next. The next question, who can read the next question, please?
transmitted.
How did the source get its information?
Okay. The word how. How did the source get its information? We have to be aware of in what way or what manner does the author or that person identify to be the one who relates the information, obtains the information. And if the source includes references, look at few of the references. So if there are enclosed references, we have to check on some of this. So this is the sample of a reference. And I have it here written in the board. Yes, it is an A format. We have here the author. The first example is a reference with two authors. So this is the first author, the last name of the author, the initial of the first name, and the second author. We also have the date of publication or publication date, as well as the title. As you have noticed, it is in italic. Then we also have the source URL. Then our second example here is a reference without the author. So the title appears first, as what you have noticed. Then the publication date and the newspaper name, the news review, as well as the URL. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does the author cite the sources correctly? Cite the sources correctly. If there are enclosed references, we have to ensure that the author has given proper credit to other people's ideas. And if that person has acknowledged the other people's ideas that he or she used, do the sources provide reliable information? We also have to know if that source is something or some organization or the person which can be trusted, and that it provides a well-reasoned theory and base those evidences in strong facts. Next, does the article undergone peer review? So, in this question, we also have to be deeper about it and know if the article has been peer reviewed, meaning the peer review, if it is checked or assessed, especially the validity and the quality of the work. Do you understand, class? Okay. What if the source you have found is without references? As you have noticed in our motivation activity later, there are statements, right, with no references. So what are we going to do if there are no enclosed references? If a source does not include references, see if you can check the information in other ways. So we have to find or search for the information by another means. Meaning we have to employ different series of actions or any possible method in inspecting the information. Like for example here, if you are looking at a news article that quotes experts in the field, do a research on the expert's name. So if it happens that what you are viewing is a news article and there are experts in the field that was mentioned, you have to do a diligent search about the author's name or that expert's name for you to be able to collect information and discover facts about that person. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. So here is an example of a valid evidence. Who can read the example? Yes, Ivan.
November 5, 2021. The Department of Education regretted as an institution trusted to protect the rights of every Filipino learner, thus not tolerate any forms of abuse towards children.
So why this evidence is considered valid? First, the source is the Department of Education. And what is the topic in here? It is about the Philippine the one expert in this field. Do you get it? Okay. Next, we have here invalid evidence. You can read the first. Yes, Edwin?
Dogs are better than cats. They walk, play fetch, and interact with owners. Whereas cats stalk around their lonesome during night dark hours.
Why do you think this evidence is considered valid? Is considered invalid, I mean. And why?
And that's because of cats cannot connect with or interact with their owners. And all types of dogs can stalk around in their lonesome during night dark hours.
Yes. And aside from that, aside from what you already mentioned, there is no author in here, there is no source in here, and we don't even know where this evidence came from. So you get it? Which that makes it invalid. Next, according to Coco Martin, those who just stay at home won't get infected with COVID-19. Why do you think this evidence is considered invalid? Yes? Happy.
Ako ma'am, that's only based on Coco Martin. Based on the opinion of Coco Martin.
Very good. Yes, Anjali, another answer?
Coco Martin is not an expert for good of yes.
Exactly. Very good. How about Edwin? Oh, Anjali already had an answer. Okay, very good. Coco Martin is not an expert in this field, right? And in the questions which were explained earlier or mentioned earlier, we have to ensure that the person having assertions on that particular matter should be an expert on the field. Do you get it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions? Okay. Let's have an activity. Prove your claim. There will be evidences like tell whether the statement or source is valid or invalid. Give a reason to prove your claim. You can only give one reason. Who can answer the first question? Yes, Shane?
Verse guy.
Yes.
Verse guy chapter 16. Verse 16. Of the Holy Bible proves that God loves people. It's valid because Bible is a reliable source.
Exactly, Shane. Very good. Next, we have. Yes, Maiden.
According to Edelyn, there are different practical cycles that quantity is invalid. But in the next case, must be expert in the field.
Okay, introduction is not an explanation. No, very good. It is invalid. And with regards to this information, we can rely on the pag-asa, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. Next, Icon.
The Coco extract sportsman is especially in the largest. I think it is invalid because there is no author or source that is decided on that sentence.
Definitely. We don't even know if where the statement came from or from where it transpired or where this originated. Next. Who can answer this? Anyone? Yes, Jeanette, are you raising your hand? Yes, please.
To defeat the COVID-19 pandemic and other challenges, we must work with seamless unity. That is being said the President presented in his speech during the conventional session of the United Nations General Assembly. This is valid now because
Why?
we have the President here cited in this paragraph, and it is being stated there that he said that during the 75th session of the UN General Assembly.
That's a good answer. Very good. With your answers, I guess you already learned much from our discussion earlier. So, there will be taking a quiz. Are you ready?
Yes.
In our quiz, you have to look for a card. only giving you only 5 minutes because that's composed of 5 items. So, everyone received the activity papers. So your timer starts now. It's already 2:25. Are you joining? We're still answering. Are there still groups? Is everybody done? Yes, ma'am. Real faster Are all papers new? Yes, ma'am. That's good. Now, before we end with our lesson, can you give one significant lesson that we learned this afternoon? Yes, Lynn.
What I have learned after now is we should not really right away, whatever we hear, whatever we read, especially in our books that we have to center. If there are no like specific authors, if there are no proving facts behind that.
Okay, thank you. Another one, please. Anjali.
We can determine if the evidence is valid enough if a certain statement did not include any sources or references.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Ivan? What have you learned? Yes? What about it?
I think the radio is very important because right now, since a lot of fake news in social media, as well as first you have to check also the sources and how to, when you have to target the value or the statement, whether it's correct or not,
Very good. It signifies that you have learned very much from judging the validity of the process. So as for your assignment, reflect on the question below. Answer in 45 sentences. And you have to use 1/2 + 1 yellow paper or yellow pen. This is only to check. The question says, how can we determine if the evidence is valid? And you will have to ask this last next video. Have you done calculating? Yes, ma'am. So let's call it a day. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye and good luck. Bye.